Alright, hey guys, it's TsubakiSwagg! And I'm coming to you with my review, with my first impressions. Darn it, I was so close. My first impressions of Young Blackjack. And this is another show that is at its first episode, and this show actually looks like it's going to be pretty fucking dope. And I like the style of this show. Like, I always talk about the animation. I love the style of the show because it reminds me of like old school like Trigun or Go-Go 13 or any of those shows like that that have like the older school style of anime. And this show actually looks like it's gonna be pretty freaking awesome. The main character, of course, his name is Blackjack, and he looks like a Frankenstein monster, but he's really attractive and he has like a white streak in his hair. He is a surgeon, or a want-to-be surgeon. He's actually a student, which they don't really mention until later on, like closer to the end of the episode. But this episode is pretty much like you see this bus and this kid are stuck on a train tracks, and the train hits them. They all end up in the hospital, but all the interns are on strike, so they're really short-handed. And one of the, I guess she's like a CNA or something, she goes looking for people to try to find somebody to help them with the accident victims, because like I said, all of the interns were on strike, so there was nobody else in the hospital except for her and the doctors. So she was running around outside trying to find somebody, and she came across Blackjack. And Blackjack, of course, he was like doing a pretend procedure in his head, which I actually think is really pretty fucking cool, because that makes him a little more awesome. And it makes you more awesome when you are that passionate about something that you practice all the time. So he was practicing a procedure, and when he was finished, he addressed her. So he went inside to help, and they were like helping patch people up. And the boy came in, the boy that had the bite. He had gotten dragged underneath the train, and he lost his right arm and his left leg. So his parents wanted to try to see if they could be reattached. And a doctor told them that they would not be able to reattach it. They could either let him die, or they could amputate and he'll be okay. But of course the parents didn't want that. So Blackjack walked up and he was like, there's a way for me to reattach these. You just have to trust me. And it's going to be 5 million, like I guess 5 million yen. And they, at first they didn't know whether to trust him, but they trusted him, and he went through the whole procedure. And you never would have known that that was his first operation, because he was going the fuck off. And that's what makes him freaking awesome. Like, I would love for him to be my doctor, even though he was shaking afterwards, but he was able to reattach both the arm and the leg, which is pretty freaking dope. And that was what sold me on this show. So he was able to reattach the arm and the leg, and the parents were so freaking happy. But then after that, they pretty much blackmailed him and gypped him out of his money, and they only gave him 500,000. I'm like, dude just saved your son and stopped him from having to amputate both his arm and his leg, and you're gonna short him like that? Really? Just because he's a student? I mean, even the doctors weren't even willing to do that shit, and you're gonna do that? Really? That's what we do now? Okay, well, fuck you too. I wish he would have just like decked him in his stomach. He should have chopped the boy's leg and arm back off. Like, there, if you want to give me $500,000, then you can have that. But he was really nice, and he gave the $500,000 to the guy who let him use his his OR. So this show looks like it's gonna be pretty fucking awesome, and I'm so looking forward to the coming up episodes, because I can't wait to see what happens. So yeah, if you have not watched the show, go watch it, because it's pretty fucking awesome. So as always, please remember to comment, thumbs up, and subscribe. It helps me a whole lot. And this is TsubakiSwagg saying adios.